keep an eye on it. We'll see.
Yeah. If you love the show, make a comment. If you hate my beard, that's okay to say as well. Prefer Drew's beard. I'm never going to shave to that level. I go out with a mask now.
Yeah.
And I know it looks stupid. I know it looks, I've got the mask on and all this hair is just blasting out from it.
Right,
the mask is doing nothing. It's nothing. It's just coming in on the sides.
That's right. I hadn't thought about that. I mean, here's an interesting thing we're going to talk about here in a little bit, but New York State just issued a mask order. So I imagine we'll do it like in a day or two because that's how it works.
Yeah.
Seems like anyway. So yeah, but luckily I got one because you guys sent over a couple and Heather's mom put together a couple. I don't have any cool ones. And honestly, like, I feel like the skull mask, like, I mean, that's the obvious choice, right? But it's a little, I don't know. That seems like a social faux pas during a pandemic, right?
It does.
The face of death during a pandemic. It's not. Really
how
cool.
about Bane though? Bane would be interesting.
That would kind of work. I was trying to figure out, because I haven't seen a discussion on this, but like what type of mask could you wear where it would be like, oh yeah, everybody's going to recognize that, or some kind of a reference? I mean, I don't know. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, there's got to be some comedy ones. I think you could come out with, like I said, I'd love it if it was just my painted face. Like it was the beard on it, had a mouth hole.
That would work.
Yeah,
would
just
cool.
looked like I was very much smiling. A great time to rob a bank. Great time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're not. Well, I mean, are they open?
Oh, okay. Bad time to rob a bank.
Yeah, I just don't actually know the answer to that. I mean, I know we're talking to our bank today, but maybe they're all remote working or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't believe there's a lot of floor traffic, right? I mean, it's probably pretty quiet.
Yeah. But, it would be a great time to do one of those tunneling movies where you tunnel into a casino and steal everything out of the vault. Because you got to think, the buildings are closed up. Is anyone on site? Is anyone paying attention? Somebody's just going to show up at the end of this and be like, everything is gone.
Or you can get your tunnel built, and then when they fire it all back up, and then you could just knock down that last 6 inches and get in there and do stuff.
Something's going to happen. There's going to be some stories, I figure, based on that, where somebody took advantage of that lack of people in buildings.
Yeah.
Great time to loot.
That's interesting. I feel like that's happened, not for a theft though, but I'm not. I'll keep an eye out for it because that sounds really familiar. But that's what happens, man. It's like I realized. So we've been pushing subscriptions or whatever, and the problem we've got is the submissions are up, and so I processed I think 2,500 yesterday, just yesterday. That's just between 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. So it's been a little busy.
Well, that's positive, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, it is. It's too bad advertising ain't doing so well. But that's how it goes.
That is a problem.
Yeah, trying to figure out where everybody's at here. I was like, I meant to sticky this thing to the top of the Fark. And
you do have that power, the ultimate power.
I do, but apparently I didn't use it.
You're like Trump with Twitch. You have the power to do whatever.
Exactly.
Just tell your
they have the power
to
just
suck
make up powers that I have on the spot. Yeah. So they just rolled the newsletter too. So we'll see how that goes. That just went out. Interesting little side note too. This is kind of funny. We haven't figured this out yet. We got Fark emails got banned from Hotmail for some reason. We don't know why. And honestly, I feel like if we can't reach you because you're on Hotmail, first of all, why are you on Hotmail?
Right.
Second of all, it's so funny. It's just like dealing with Google. They have no process for this. It's like, hey, you guys did this. You shouldn't have banned all our, because it wasn't even the newsletter that got blocked. It was literally I think somebody we send out emails to you if you if somebody mentions you and bolds a name. And I think what happened was that somebody punted one of those back to the abuse over at Hotmail, and they just dropped the hammer and kept going. And we're like, hey, we're legit over here. And they're like, no.
Yeah,
so,
we're old school. It's just a dude, cranky old dude in a corner. Didn't Microsoft buy Hotmail? Wasn't that?
Yeah, so I'm trying to chase it through Microsoft. But again, it's like, can you imagine? I mean, having used Microsoft products, how you can pretty much guess how, dealing with them corporately probably works too. There's just no interface for stuff.
Which is funny because I asked you today, I was having a brain fart. I was trying to remember an internet service company. And by the way, it did have free access that started with a J. And you popped out Juno instantly on that, and I appreciate that because I couldn't. But I still have a few people that have Juno.com email addresses. That is
I see some weird ones
school.
on there too. I'm trying to think. The really weird one would be like CompuServe or what else was that?
With the number in the front?
Yeah, there was Prodigy. That would be a really weird one.
Badge of honor, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Now, well.com, at this point, if you got one of those, you're rolling. That was like the first web community. The first internet community, sorry. It predated the web.
Yeah. Well.com.
Yeah, they've been around a while. Let's wait a couple more minutes, too, because now that newsletter's dumping out, we'll get going into this here pretty soon.
Sounds good. Yeah, and I am paying attention to the comments now.
Well, Mike's in there, so that's good.
Is everyone on Office 365 too? I actually am with my company.
Good.
I'm not a fan of most Microsoft products. I don't like how long it took for Word and Excel to get online and be any kind of usability. So I've been using Google G Suite forever, and I just feel more comfortable with it. But it's at least
does it work okay? I found out I haven't used Microsoft stuff in a while, and I slagged off on them about 2 years ago. And everybody's like, "No, man, it's good." I'm like, "Well, okay, maybe."
I'm kind of cool with their Teams integration versus what's that company that competes with them in the not Asana, it's
Burger King.
No,
who
knows who competes with that? Yeah, my brain doesn't work, but they I think Microsoft made it pretty simple. I guess it's a little disjointed. But on G Suites, I've created a bunch of things with their spreadsheet. This is stupid talk. Who came here to talk about G Suite? Nobody.
Yeah, exactly. God, speaking of which, so I was looking at we have this data company I've been working with that's run by a Farker, and it's been segmenting our audience to try to identify, like who does what. Turns out we've got the single highest affinity score for Star Trek they've ever seen.
Oh, really?
I'm not super surprised by that, but it's pretty funny.
Let's see.
Yeah, I just popped in over to Facebook. The comments are hopping over there, so that's good.
They care.
Yeah.
They're
it's like what'll happen is I've noticed this whenever we live stream on Facebook, like we get this like massive uptake for about like 5 minutes, and then it just dies. And I think that's when Facebook's algorithm goes, "Uh-oh, you're not paying for this free coverage."
That's true. Yeah. Let's see.
But yeah, luckily we've got a website with 1 million people on it. I can just point that into Twitch anyway, so we're good. We're covered.
Playing with my music here.
All right. Yeah, you want to pick a good? We could launch into this now. I think we're about 2:05 right now. All the slackers are.
This is one of my all-time favorites. The Church of Fark.
Is this what happens when monkeys get keyboards? I mean, I was told they were supposed to write Hamlet, but it seems like they do a lot of music.
It does seem more likely that they could come up with music. You got that beat. You've got at least that foundation of rhythm. Do monkeys have rhythm?
I don't know. Probably.
Could you teach a monkey to drum? Because that seems like you'd get some great views off of that.
Oh yeah, sure.
What if we had a drum?
Oh man, speaking of which, nobody took me up on the Zoom llama thing. The go-to meeting we talked about in the last episode. Yeah, I was like, it's $100 to get a llama in on your Zoom meeting. And since we might need that $100 in a month, I can't really justify it. And also I drink a lot, so between those two things. But on the other hand, it was like, what would we do with that? Then there would just be a llama behind us. I mean, you could probably just
absolutely. You'd want to check in every so often. You'd bring it in. What do you think, llama? Yeah. But if we had a drumming monkey, I think we could pimp that out. People would definitely pay for that. Doing rim shots on your on jokes that you make, that would be impressive. All right.
Excellent. Let's kick it off. You got where's the Cylons playing the theremin, or do you have a different theme music today?
Oh no, I do have stuff. Let's see. Yeah.
They're saying the llama story got cut off when the steam died. Okay.
Oh.
That's what happened. Well, it's all right. I mean, I'm not like super disappointed that nobody kicked in $100 to get a llama on, because I can think of literally everything else that's probably more important than that. But it's I do like that. I actually threw it over to Steve, the CEO at Reddit. I was like, this may be more appropriate for you, because like we have a meeting once a week, but we don't use Zoom or video or anything because we don't have to, but that's all they do over there. And I was like, you guys need more llamas on your calls, so here you go, man.
Absolutely.
We'll see how that goes.
Well, we could use a recorded one. Well, that's what we'll do in the future. All right,
Yeah.
Drew, we've got some news.
Yes, some news. So we kicked this off by giving a quick summary of how the coronavirus is going, because it's kind of the only thing happening out there. As you can see, we're another day down the pike. It's starting to, I mean, it isn't flat. Like, so for people who haven't been watching every day, we want to be like South Korea down there in the middle.
Yeah.
See how flat that thing is? Like that's looking good. I mean, it sucks that they're
that's
stuck at 10,000.
That's precision guided line right there.
Yeah, it's kind of like everybody said, "Hey, South Korea, do a line," and they're like, "Oh yeah, we got this." And Hong Kong too. You know, like they're looking pretty good. And actually, looking into the middle of that map, it looks like maybe the Czech Republic. No, it's Norway. It's Norway.
No,
Norway's doing good. Okay.
Sweden, Denmark. I want to pop over here to the death curve because that's transmissions. Who's handling deaths the best?
Yeah, everybody's going
I mean,
up,
everyone's a little. This one's a little fairer race right here.
What the hell's San Marino? Is that like?
Is that like a ship? That could be. You know how that
down there on the bottom.
They listed one of the ships on those other stats, so maybe that's it. Nah, San Marino Island. I could see that.
Maybe. I just keep thinking of Dolphins quarterbacks.
But South Korea is still low on that end, and we're still Are we winning? Yeah, we are. Spain.
Yeah, we're winning. Yeah, we're winning on all counts.
All right. I guess so.
And actually, I couldn't find a good clip of this, and honestly, it's like it wasn't that good. I do like watching Cuomo's daily press conferences because he actually says interesting stuff. So one of the data points they've got that he didn't quite mention, because I don't know, either they didn't put this together or it's kind of a grisly stat. It turns out that their net new hospitalizations are down because the death rate is so high that they're clearing beds. Yeah, it's like you want to take some good news out of that, but it's like, well, I mean, now the good news is their death rate is flat, but it's high and flat. So yeah, anyway.
Wow.
It's not going up, it doesn't look like. He also made it mandatory for the New York State, if you go out in public, you got to use a mask. It's like I hit all my New York friends real quick and told them, and they're like, oh, thank God, like nobody's wearing them. Which isn't necessarily a problem because it prevents you from transmitting to other people. And the idea is if we all wear them, we don't know we're sick, we'll be good.
Right, so, exactly.
And in New York City in particular, the density there is so high, I don't know where you would go where you wouldn't be next to somebody. I mean, it's crazy out there.
Yeah, you're definitely, that's the way it's going to help. The one thing I do like about it is that it makes it, people like me, I feel dumb the first time I do something like that. Like, for instance, I don't dress up for Halloween. You could give me all the money you want to give me. I'm not dressing up for Halloween. But, so in the same way, I felt so dumb putting a mask on for the first time.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And when you have somebody saying this is the way it is, it takes away the dumb for me, and I just get out there and do it. So
yeah, that might work out then. So yeah, it's a good point. But yeah, since they did it, I mean, we'll probably do it next. So I imagine I just need a cool one. Like I said, I just don't know what kind of theme to go for. Because like we talked about, it's like, Skull Mask is probably not cool right now. And Bane, yeah, okay, maybe. I'm trying to think of, I don't know, Darth Vader. I don't know.
Yeah, you'd have that. Anything with it. I guess the Joker, is that too easy?
Maybe just a bandana. I mean, that's probably the way to go.
Bandanas don't look too bad.
Yeah. So this is an interesting thing. We're moving into the stuff that I don't think got as much coverage. And to explain to people how this works, this isn't because it's not being talked about in the news, clearly, because here we are looking at Reuters, right? It turns out that the way that things are presented to you is algorithmic. And it turns out if, for example, you don't give a crap about Germany, as I also do not give a crap about Germany, you might not see this, but since I run Fark, and we don't have an algorithm, it shows up. This was kind of fascinating. Germany has gotten to the point. Now, granted, they're still not out of the woods yet, but they're thinking about opening up some non-essential businesses, which apparently qualifies as car dealerships and bookstores. By the way, we didn't shut down car dealerships. I don't know who's buying cars.
I thought those were.
Yeah, no, they're not. I don't know. They got carved out. It was really super weird.
Oh, okay.
I mean, state by state, I'm sure somebody shut them down.
Yeah.
And then bookstores, and then schools are going to open. That'll be the sketchy one right there. But they're at least talking about it. And I guess they probably reserve the right to, kick it down the road a little bit. But Germany's thinking about maybe taking a shot at it in a couple of weeks.
I can see it for businesses that you want to that have a higher chance of failing from lack of activity. I think I could see that.
Yeah.
Plus, you could control it. I don't understand the opening schools. You've got a month left, basically. You've been going.
Just let it go.
You've been going a month.
Everybody.
What is the advantage to that? It doesn't. You might as well open everything.
I think the deal is they're German, and they're like, we have to be on schedule, and that's probably what it is. It's like if we're gonna open stuff up, back to school, kids, even if it's for 2 weeks.
That could be. Wow, you could feel that one almost.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, prominent scientists have bad news for the White House.
So this floated around in the morning. This actually almost ended up being what I call the daily narrative, which is kind of when all the news guys, they spend right up until about noon trying to settle on what they're going to talk about the rest of the day. This one almost made it, and I don't know if it'll make a recovery by the time the evening rolls around, but this was interesting. So it turns out that the good news is they relaxed a lot of the FDA regulations on getting tests out and such, and because we're kind of in a hurry to get an antibody test in particular, but I mean a vaccine and an easy test, and et cetera.
Right.
Unfortunately, what appears to be happening is a lot of the stuff that's rolling out is junk. It's actually not really working out. In particular, way down in the middle of this article is the quote: "The Association of Public Health Laboratories says that the lax regulations have resulted in quote crappy tests," which that's the word they use, which means they're not happy about it. But they said it's the wild west out there, or the wild east, depending on what part of the country you're in.
It's a great time. Great time to make a test that you have no idea if it really works very well or not.
Yeah,
charge whatever.
Half of the companies making these tests are in China, and I mean, let's not cast aspersions just because they're from China, but there's got to be, let's call it 5 or 10 that are like, oh man, you know what? Like we could if we could just package Q-tips in something that looks like a test, we could sell like 1 million of these things.
Oh, absolutely. If it looks official, it's that comfort of you're at least trying to do something, and the governments who buy them are able to say, "Here's our test number. See, we're doing something for this." So
exactly,
you've got that.
So there you go. I just got the your internet connection is unstable. That might as well just stay up. But because I've got like 3 kids that are all doing their conference calls with their classes. So if I start stuttering, just pretend.
Well, hopefully it's not me. Hopefully we just keep on trucking. We've got Fox News hits back at activist group that sued over coronavirus coverage.
So I do a lot of morning radio in the mornings on Tuesdays, just because it's easy in different parts of the country, and in particular in Ocean City, Maryland. This came up. I was trying to explain. I don't even know. Now I don't know how we got on this exactly, but I was trying to explain the issue of how somebody is eventually going to figure out that the Alex Jones lawsuit, which is where Alex Jones is being sued by parents of children that were killed at Sandy Hook because he was promoting the conspiracy theory that didn't happen. And long story short, I was saying that there's been articles saying that Fox News is worried about a similar thing. In fact, to the point where I actually checked in with some people I know over there, and I was like, "Is that a real thing?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're worried about it." So I was explaining this to a guy, and I won't explain how the argument went, but this is how it ended: is that Fox News is liable if they said some stuff that wasn't true, they knew it wasn't true when they said it, and it caused damage. Now,
that's so many things to prove.
It is. So that's why, and it's supposed to be hard. You don't want to go around suing media companies, right? No. But it turns out 2 of those things we know are correct. They said some things weren't true and it caused some damage. Now, whether or not they knew it or not, I've been told some stuff by some people, and like I'm sounding like the president now. Unnamed sources, blah, blah, blah. Well, anyway, the upshot is lawsuits are starting. Yeah. And in particular, I don't know if this one's going to quite get there. This was a group in Washington, which is the Washington League for the Increased Transparency and Ethics, which is known as Wash Light, that's a ridiculously long acronym, complaining that Fox's coverage of the coronavirus is violating Washington state's consumer protection laws and legally resulted in intentional infliction of emotional distress. I don't think that second argument's going to stand up. The first one, I don't know, because I know nothing about Washington's consumer protection laws.
Right.
But I got to say, unless they are dramatically different from somebody else, I don't think that's going to work either.
No,
because it's
no.
not going down the road that I don't think a judge is going to go with it. But
The only thing I think they could hope is that they get opportunity to have discovery and then go rummaging through emails in hopes that they find something that says, yeah, I know this is all BS, but let's put the news out because
yeah, and that could be
evil.
the play there, because that's the thing that people want to avoid in lawsuits, because in discovery you have to give them everything, like legally give them everything that's relevant to the trial. And I think in Fox's case, that would be like all internal emails since January. And
right.
you imagine what else is in there? I mean, you're supposed to toss out anything not relevant to the trial, but yeah, maybe that's the play here. I don't know, but I don't think this one's going to work.
No.
I do think, however, that there's more coming, and we'll just see how it goes. But I brought this up because I didn't know there already was one. That was done yesterday. So there you go.
War veteran 99 raises $8 million for NHS by walking lengths of back garden.
So we do have a video for this one. I'll briefly summarize in case they don't get around to talking about what it's about. But it was a 99-year-old war veteran and was trying to raise $6,000 for the National Health Service, or 6,000 pounds rather. He started out. He started at one. He cleared his goal. What he was saying was, if he was raising the money and he was going to walk 100 lengths of his backyard before his 100th birthday. So he started this on April 8th. And apparently by Wednesday morning, it passed 6 million pounds, which is like the exchange rate sucks lately. Let's call that $7 million.
Right.
It used to be a lot better. But that's way more than the 1,000 he was shooting for. So go ahead and play the video here, because it's this guy's pretty cool.
At 99, fantastic mobility.
Yeah. This is one of those algorithmically collected one where they wrote the article and they just paste the words over it. Look at him go, man.
I was in the hospital with my hip and then with my head.
Sounds better than Joe Biden.
He does. Makes more sense. He's not sniffing any hair right now.
And if you look at this, it says virtus for no cons. Virtus favors the brave, and that's what they are. They're brave. That I shall continue up and down here after my birthday. And I'll keep on going. Well,
we can go ahead and leave. He's basically saying the same stuff. Good for him, though.
Well, I like it. Yeah, that's a nice one. That's very cool.
Yeah, so he weighs 6 million pounds. And they kind of need it right now.
My grandfather is 97 right now, and he's still rocking it. We had him come out and live with us for about a month, and then when he went back, it was the funniest thing. I took him to the airport, and we went up, and I was like, "Can I get somebody to help my grandpa get to the gate?" And they're like, "Oh yeah," and they do you want a wheelchair? Do you want a wheelchair? He's like, "No, I don't want a wheelchair." And they kept wanting to give him a wheelchair. I'm like, "No, the dude can still walk great. Just somebody point him in the right direction." So yeah, you get older. Some guys just live and live and live.
It's great.
I have no idea what this photo is.
Yeah, so this is a photo of some people who took a vacation last year. Apparently, like I said, we've been talking about how in different countries they've got stricter rules. Like for example, like in Kentucky, if I go out and do a 30-mile bike ride, they aren't going to say anything to me. But if you walk more than 100 feet away from your house in Israel, you get slapped with a felony. If you do it in the Philippines, they'll shoot you because dictatorships are great like that. Apparently, awesome. In Australia, there's some fines up there. So what happened was they were trying to relive vacations they took last year, posted some photos from last year. Apparently, somebody follows them on Instagram as a jerk and turned them in to the cops and slapped them with a 1,700 pound fine. Let's actually $1,700 Australian, 840. That's about $1,000.
And did the story say did they challenge that at all, or has it not reached that point? Okay,
yeah, but it was just
it's fun. I do love all these tattletale stories that are coming out. Lots of fun.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, the Fark headline on this was so it's apparently when they say like you don't even thinking about going outdoors, they're not kidding.
All right, Florida lawyers had to be reminded to wear shirts during virtual court appearances.
I still wish we had video for this.
Are they saying collared shirts? I could see that one, but somebody just Billy Bob Thornton showing up with a wife beater or less. That would be crazy.
Yeah, this one came out yesterday, and I meant to do it. It got lost. I got filed in the wrong folder or something. But it's Florida, so we can just go with this. But yeah, apparently attorneys, not just like clients, have been because they've switched all over to Zoom courtrooms now, are doing them from their beds without clothes on because Florida, right?
I didn't realize this. They are doing virtual court with the judges and everyone. They didn't just shut it down. They said, let's do it this way. I like it. I wish they'd do more of it. I wish everything was also posted live. I wish I could watch live feeds of courtrooms across the country.
Especially Florida.
Oh, my gosh. That's the premium version. That's the pay-per-view version. That's awesome.
Totally.
Well, awesome. Let's see.
So along the same lines, I tried to find a trifecta for this. I couldn't, but we got 2 out of the 3. This is actually hysterical. It's Taneytown, Maryland, which I had to look it up because I didn't know where the hell it was. Apparently, George Washington mentioned it once. He said it was a very small town with one street. It's not at least he knew where it was, I guess. Damn. I don't know. But it's in that weird like panhandle thing that kind of, the one that they ran the interstate through.
Okay.
Up near Pennsylvania, probably being overrun by Pennsylvanians, as we were discussing on yesterday's show, because they're all running over there to get the beer because Pennsylvania didn't keep liquor stores open like morons. Anyway, in Taneytown, not very big still, about 7,000 people live there. The Taneytown Police Department posted on social media reminding residents to put pants on before checking the mail, and then also said, "You know who you are." And I bet they do. It doesn't sound like it's a big town, but there you go.
That's the beauty of a small town. You definitely, definitely put out a warning like that. Also, how that is not scary at all. Taneytown Police Department. That's does not strike any fear in me at all.
I'm picturing 6-inch tall action figures. That's it's an entire town, like that's the island of misfit toys in Maryland.
All right, this one fits for my background. We've got Utah in the news.
This is great. So this has nothing to do with coronavirus whatsoever. Finally,
just awesome haircuts is all we're talking here, and probably meth.
He's got his quarantine haircut going on there. That's definitely, I did it myself while I was drunk, and then I missed, and then I went back and tried it again, and then I missed twice. This guy, 50-year-old man, was found covered in blood by the cops. Or as a 50-year-old man was dead. Sorry, he was found covered in blood, but the 54-year-old man that they found near him basically said that that guy was a Terminator.
Now, if you said this guy was 58, I could believe that too, just as much as him being, what did they say, 30-something? 40-something.
54, 58 is it?
Oh, he is 54. Okay, I was thinking it was younger. He's 54. That is a great, I'm sure that one will pan out.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work when he tries to use that in his defense arguments. But, I mean, on the other hand, we don't know. Maybe he did kill him.
It's a great reason. Maybe not a good reason, but it's a reason.
Yeah, he's definitely got an insanity defense.
John Bon Jovi. My sister-in-law would have loved that.
So there's a video for this. Somebody decided, let's go see if John Bon Jovi will join a kindergarten music class, and he did. Go ahead and play the video there.
Where are my pants?
We just did that.
Yeah,
we got it. This is an ad.
All right. Thanks for the ad.
Maybe that guy was the one going to the mailbox.
Oop. Here we go.
And I was very excited to hear that because
look at all the moms, by the way. Check that out. They're all there. Nobody missed this show.
Sometimes they'll turn into songs.
As Mr. Bonnet continues to teach online, he tasked his students to write about their lives in quarantine, where they were and who they were with, something similar to what Bon Jovi asked his fans to do on social media.
And a light bulb went off in my head, and I said, geez, that's what we're teaching in kindergarten. That's what we're doing as a writing assignment.
That's when Mr. Bonnet got in contact with Bon Jovi's assistant to set up a video chat.
And I thought maybe, if you want, I could sing you a couple of the lines that you guys sent me, and I could put them into a melody for the song that I have written.
None of these kids know who he is. They have no idea.
No.
They're like, hey, some old guy.
Some dude.
And their parents.
Yeah, you're like, all right, he seems full.
Trapped in the house. Now I feel like a mouse. My parents.
Look at Karen there. Karen doesn't even have her kid in the window.
Yeah.
She shoved that kid to the side.
Yeah, it's like, get out of here, kid. Go, don't you go pick your nose back there. I'm gonna watch Bon Jovi and lean in. Real hard.
I like that. That's cool,
it's great.
Man.
Yeah. So yeah, if your kindergarten class needs Bon Jovi to show up, sounds like you can just hit him up on Twitter and he might do it.
I like it. And Drew, would you do that? Would you show up at somebody's kindergarten class?
Sure.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
Just buy Total Fark and tell Drew, and then of course he'll show up, teach them all the things about science and stuff.
I should bring a llama too, just in case.
Oh my gosh, there's my trusty llama. And we've got a what do you call that thing? Groundhog.
It's a pizza groundhog. Remember a Pizza Rat?
Yeah.
Philadelphia is jealous of all things New York. I mean, as I understand it, I don't really know. I'm just making this up. But Pizza Rats, that's kind of a New York thing, and I guess Philadelphia was like, man, we got to get ourselves one of these, so they went out and got one.
It does look happy. All the dogs, the puppers are loving that. Oh, that's mean. That's just mean. Oh, that's an a-hole groundhog.
Yeah, it's like, look what I got, jerk.
Oh, he's eating with his mouth full? Oh my gosh.
Sit right in front of the dogs, be like, that's right.
Oh my gosh. I want this animal outside for my dogs.
Oh yeah.
They deserve to have that. Oh, that's
Maybe you
brutal.
can rent one.
Man, see, I would pay more money for this dude to join my web conference.
I would. Well, you know what I do is we had you should get to clip the video and then just run on repeat, because how would anybody know, right? He's just taking bites.
Right, yeah, I love that. That was a good one, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is my all-time favorite. This has already been all over social media this morning and yesterday, but it's still great.
Awesome.
It's what happens when
yeah.
Turns out there's an entire genre of this on YouTube of dogs stealing people's dentures.
Are those real dentures?
Yeah. Well, these are candy ones, but if you see the related stories, you'll find a ton of them. But I just love it.
Actually, yeah, you could make these for your dog, really, if you put just a treat with a thing that they can bite onto and it shows it very nicely.
Yeah.
I like that.
A little peanut butter on top, maybe, then boom.
There it is. That's the key. That's the one that does it, man.
No, sometimes these videos are staged, but I could tell this one wasn't because she snorted.
Well, yeah, that was a good time.
I like it. So that's definitely real. That dog's a punk.
And that's the day. What is today? I should write that. I'm gonna have to write that and put that on the background here on the future. It's April 15th.
We should check out that Cleveland TV station. Maybe they're still doing the what day is it?
Oh, let's see.
That'd be real helpful because, man, it's like, I mean, I've been working from home for 21 years, so I'm used to not knowing what day it is, but I'm used to be able to ask somebody else and have them know. And that's what's disappeared for me is I don't have anybody I can be like, what day is it? And have them tell me.
No, everyone has joined this dystopian universe.
Yeah.
I don't think they're part of it. Man, I'm off today. I don't know what it is. My brain isn't working. It's firing it's just firing at quarter pace.
Yeah.
So, or it's misfiring. You know, when I had my Yugo and the engine wasn't running quite right,
or even when it was
all the time.
Yeah.
I'd get that baby up to 50 miles an hour, but it felt like going 200 in a stock car.
I bet. Did everything shake?
Everything was shaking, very loud. Then the wind starts coming through in all the little gaps and holes. But man, I would love that vehicle again. So
man, we should try to build one. That'd be fun. This whole project.
It wasn't much bigger than a lawnmower engine. I'm sure we could.
Could put a lawnmower engine in there, just run it off of that or something.
I should find one. Live my dreams again. So, what do you got going on the rest of the day? You hitting the streets?
I don't know.
It's
too cold to go outside.
Today.
I'll tell you that.
That's stupid. I hate that.
Yeah.
And all last week I was like gloating to people out west about how awesome the weather was, and now it's better out there.
It's still awesome. It's just really freaking cold because what is it? It's like it's 53 out there right now.
It's picked it up. There was frost on the ground.
It's going down to 25 again tonight too, which is great. I just hope it's killing some bugs, but it doesn't ever seem to.
Well, it's killing my garden. That's for sure. That's for sure. And I'm not willing to go throw blankets all over everything at night.
Does that even work? I mean,
my parents would do it in Idaho, and I think they still do, but I'm still growing them in the basement, so I'll just replace them.
Okay.
Yeah, dead to me.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah, so I got I got no plans other than just going to keep on keeping on. And, maybe we'll do this tomorrow. Maybe we'll do it Friday.
Sounds good. Yeah, pay attention to your Fark streams, guys. And if you want to listen to the podcast, you can go to Fark and Schnitt show. It's the Fark and Schnitt show. If you look that up, it's easy to find and comes out.
If you can't spell it, the second time will be the key.
Exactly. That'll work. Just get close. Yes. And Total Fark is still an option. And your other one, when are you announcing that? Or was it today in your email?
We kicked it a week, actually. We launched today. We launched Farks to Give, which is you can pre-buy essentially 1 month subs that you can either activate or for yourself or somebody else, or you can hang on to them forever.
Okay.
Or you could sell them on eBay in 20 years, probably. I don't know. We're going to turn them into cryptocurrency at some point.
They're like the forever stamp.
Yeah, so I don't know, but anyway, we threw that out there, and the other one, the OFARC one's coming next week, which a lot of Total Farkers noticed because we accidentally turned it on for 2 minutes, but that's all it took. Everybody got screenshots of like, what is this? It's like, that's coming next week. We'll talk about that later. I was like, we did mention it on the podcast yesterday, so if you wanted to hear more about what that's about, check it out. But otherwise, we'll drop that next week on Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever makes sense.
Awesome, man. Looking forward to it. Everyone, have a wonderful rest of the day.
Yeah, take care.